This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good evening, I'm Justin Betty. 4th of July weekend is coming up fast. Of course, many folks are excited to light off fireworks and have a good time. But keep in mind, even though they are pretty, fireworks are still dangerous. Valley News Team's Alex Larson is here with some tips to keep yourself safe this holiday weekend. Alex.
Yes, Justin. According to the U.S. Product Safety Commission's 2021 report, firework-related injuries have increased by 25%, and most of those occurred during the 4th of July weekend. Many of you shared your experiences with firework-related injuries with us on Facebook. Lots of comments say theirs were sparkler-related, but Jody says a bottle rocket once landed on her head, and thank goodness she had just gotten out of the pool. Mike says he had 50 Black Cat firecrackers in his front shirt pocket when sparks went inside of his shirt and they started going off. And Sandy shares her little brother thought it would be funny to light off a pack of firecrackers in his back pocket. He was later taken to the hospital with severe burns and had to get skin grafting done. Sandy adds these are no joke, and Sanford Health agrees. They say these injuries can be life-threatening.
As far as child-related injuries, just in 2021, last year we actually saw it was a 29% of those injuries were in children under the ages of 15 years old. Those can be life-threatening. They can be fatal, quite a significant amount.
And always remember to have a bucket of water or a fire extinguisher next to you available in case of an emergency. But if you do not want to take the safety risk and also want to save some money, see if a community fireworks show near you is going on this holiday weekend. We have a list of those shows going on our website at valleynewslive.com. Justin?
Thanks, Alex. New tonight, several buildings, the University of Minnesota's campus, were evacuated earlier today because of an explosion and fire. Minneapolis fire officials say the cause is most likely a flammable gas spill, adding they also received reports that manhole covers were blown right out of the street. However, no injuries have been reported. A man killed in a motorcycle crash earlier this week has now been identified as a National Guardsman, police chief, and father of 5 from Carrington, North Dakota. Highway Patrol officials say 36-year-old Brandon Sola died when he lost control and was thrown off his bike on the interstate west of West Fargo. In a statement today, the Air Guard says they'll always remember his commitment to the National Guard and to law enforcement. A GoFundMe page has been set up to help his family with funeral and memorial costs. The body of a man who was reported missing in Beltrami County has now been found. The sheriff's office says 50-year-old Nathan Pochart was found dead this morning in a rural part of the county. He was reported missing Monday night after telling someone he wanted to harm himself. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension has joined the investigation into an attempted abduction involving 2 Bemidji teens. Police say the girls were approached by a man in a park on Sunday. He tried to pick one of them up and carry them off. The BCA is offering a $1,000 reward for tips in this case. For a description of the man and how you can report a tip, just go to our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story. Again, we are getting pretty close to the 4th of July weekend, and for a look at what the weather is going to be like for that stretch, here's First Alert Storm Team meteorologist Nathan Hopper. Nathan.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. Happy Thursday, everybody. I was able to pinpoint the moon. It's a very small sliver of moon, but with clear skies this evening, I was able to get our Corwin Auto Tower cam zoomed in on it there. You see the little fingernail of the moon there. Let's take this full screen so folks at home can see that. Look at that. It's just a little sliver, but absolutely beautiful there. The calm wind means our camera's not shaking around, so we can actually see the moon here at this hour. But of course, things pretty quiet by and large. That's the good news for our evening. Satellite and radar shows clear conditions. I am watching, though, a few flakes of green out here across the Devil's Lake Basin. Got a report from someone in Minot that the amount of rain that fell there was just enough to get a clean car dirty. So that's what we got here, just a few light raindrops pushing into our northwestern neighborhoods. And as that kind of weather wiggle makes its way through, only expecting a few raindrops from that to be occurring here this evening. Temperatures, though, look at this already. 59 in Bemidji, 61 that current temperature. Grand Forks Fargo's at 66, one of the warmer spots, but a cool night is in store for tonight. I'm saying a windows open kind of night. But Justin, as you're saying, weekend is almost here. We're tracking some storm chances. Of course, we'll break down what folks can expect tomorrow and, of course, what they can expect for that holiday weekend in a few minutes.
Sounds good. Thanks, Nathan. Gas prices are starting to inch down over the last few weeks, but they are still near all-time record highs, causing some to rethink holiday travel plans. However, folks in North Dakota say they still expect a busy travel weekend. Valley News Team's Aaron Walling brings us the story.
It's a little disheartening to see those prices continue to bump up.
According to the AAA, the average cost of a gallon of regular unleaded is about $1.70 more than this time last year.
It just hurts. When you're sitting there just watching the gas tank, you're like, man, I swear it just gets higher and higher each week.
Yet AAA predicts over 48 million Americans will travel 50 miles or more over the holiday weekend, 4% more than last year.
Life is more than money, and just like certain memories are just like aren't worth the cost, kind of regardless of what it is. And like, sure, you have to save in other areas, but like the memories and like the people you take the time with is like really worth it.
And that's good news, since tourism and road travel are critical to North Dakota's economy, especially after dealing with the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Oh, it's vital. I think that we know that we are still trying to continue to rebound from the pandemic. And so we know that those travelers are vital to our economy.
It's nothing but wonderful for the economy, and we get to share all that we know and love about our community with visitors.
In Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
Delta expects more passengers to fly this weekend than at any point since the pandemic started. TSA is already tallying more than 2 million flyers almost every day in June. But with the extra travelers has also come a wave of delays and cancellations. About 1,200 flights have been canceled just in the last 2 days nationwide.
I always try to get the first flight out of any place, try to get a plane that overnighted there, because that's much less likely to be delayed.
He's going to say there. Airlines are required to offer refunds if they cancel your flight and you refuse an alternate one, or if there is a significant delay, though the definitions of that vary. Trip insurance is a way to make sure you're not on the hook for any flight changes, but above all, be flexible and be patient. In Fargo, Hector International Airport's getting an upgrade over the summer, but the transition may be a little painful for travelers. Valley News Team's Bailey Hurley explains.
What's only 2 lanes of security at Hector International Airport will soon be expanded to 3, with scanners made to better catch prohibited items like weapons, drugs, and oversized liquids, as well as help clear those safe items, meaning fewer physical bag checks by TSA.
This presents a much more intense image for our transportation security officers of the carry-on bags that are going through. They can kind of rotate and stretch and just see what's in the bags a lot better.
The new scanners also mean travelers no longer have to take out electronics before sending your bag down the conveyor belt,
which I think passengers will appreciate.
But before things get better, they have to get worse. And officials say while crews are installing the new scanners, travelers should arrive to the airport at least 2 hours early.
There's just going to be less room for passengers in the existing lanes that we have. So I think delays are possible.
Maley urges passengers to have patience and to pay attention to TSA instructions when going through security the next few weeks, and says to make it easier on yourself by packing smart so you don't risk getting stopped in an already slow line. In Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
New tonight, Senator Kevin Cramer's co-sponsored what he calls the Safe Schools Act. The plan allows leftover COVID relief money to be put towards school security nationwide, specifically in the form of physical security measures, locks, panic buttons, individual room security systems, video surveillance, and salaries for armed school resource officers. In Washington, the Supreme Court has ruled to limit the Environmental Protection Agency's power to regulate greenhouse gas emissions. The court's conservative majority siding with the coal industry and 20 states petitioning, including North Dakota. The concurring opinions say the EPA exceeded their authority by trying to limit power plant pollution under the Clean Air Act. In dissent, Justice Kagan says the Congress had rightfully delegated environmental policy decisions to this expert agency, the EPA, calling the court's involvement frightening. In another decision, the court has ended a Trump-era policy on immigration. A 5-4 decision, the court ruled the Biden administration can end the Remain in Mexico program, meaning asylum seekers are no longer forced to wait in Mexico during their immigration approval process. Following the rulings today, there was a change to the High Court. This is Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson being sworn in today. Now Justice Jackson, following the retirement of Stephen Breyer. She is the 116th justice to serve on the court, the first ever black woman on the bench. She's not expected to really change the ideological makeup of the court. 6 conservative justices right now, 3 more liberal justices. The first cases she's expected to hear are scheduled for October. They revolve around affirmative action and judiciary intervention in state elections.